Good morning. Welcome to Morning Special. I'm your host Sue. 여러분 안녕하세요. 5월 4일 월요일 최수진의 Morning Special입니다. From 8 to 10 a.m. every day, upgrade your English with Morning Special through global headlines, book reviews, music, and much more. 매일 아침 8시부터 10시 2시간 동안 스페셜한 아침을 여는 Morning Special입니다. And joining me on this first Monday of the month of May is the one and only Steve.
Oh yeah, it's the first Monday of May.
Indeed.
I didn't realize that. Back to work for us Monday morning. How was your weekend?
My weekend was great. It was very hot, wasn't it?
The weather was absolutely stunning over the weekend.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was going to get that warm. I was dressed in a slightly thick sweater. And I just had to sweat through the whole weekend.
Oh, really? I went out and
Did you?
I was wearing jeans and shoes and socks.
Not flip-flops.
I went back. I put on
did you?
shorts and flip-flops
you
and came
did.
back out. Yeah, it was really hot. It was 26 degrees at one point over the weekend, right?
It's going to be like that today too. I heard the highs for some of the central regions will reach the late 20s today. So it's going to be another early summerish type of day.
We are getting there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
A long weekend for many of our listeners.
Yes, indeed. The month of May is known as the Family Month here in Korea. And that kind of starts off with Children's Day tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we have Parents' Day and all these days where you remember your family, say thank you, and just enjoy.
May is Family Month, right?
Family Month, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, the kids must be excited for tomorrow, yeah?
Absolutely.
So listen now, today would be a day off or not a day off for people?
No, it's not.
It's not.
But if you took the day off, 휴가, then you could get a really long holiday.
Okay, so it wasn't something that companies are offering.
No.
But you could choose to take maybe one of your vacation days.
Yeah, absolutely. And although some of those days this month are public holidays, some are not. But nonetheless, we have Teachers' Day, we have Married Couples' Day, and so lots of different days to think about your relationships and the people around you.
Sure, yeah. That's why the traffic was normal this morning. I thought today was a holiday, and I was coming to the studio, and I thought, where is everybody going at
work.
7 a.m. on a Monday morning? Yeah,
That's
they were going to work.
Yeah.
I had a great weekend too.
That's good.
I added some flowers to my garden.
Oh.
I really am becoming.
Is this your garden,
that's
Steve?
That's my garden.
와우, 보이는 라디오에 지금 스티브 선생님의 가든 사진을 올렸습니다. 너무 예쁘네요.
Yeah, so I'm really learning how to take care of that these days.
What are those flowers?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm learning, I said.
I see.
And then I put my barbecue together.
Oh, yeah?
And I made a delicious
that.
steak on the barbecue with
That's
some.
your house, not a restaurant.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. And the vegetables are just mushrooms, onions, olive oil, pepper, salt, and a curry powder. And then you put them in a foil pack.
Yeah.
And then you put them on the barbecue for like an hour.
To keep them moist?
No, to cook them all.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, with the
wow.
potatoes and everything. It's really good.
Looks so good. Wow.
So there you go. That's my weekend in a nutshell.
와, 그렇습니다. In a nutshell이라는 표현을 쓰셨네요.
Let's come back to that later,
Yeah,
yeah?
let's do that. Oh, I love that. 지금 방금 전에 스티브 선생님 정원 사진이랑 또 집에서 스테이크 만들어서 드신 사진, 직접 바비큐를 해서 만들어서 더 맛있었을 것 같아요. 와, 여러분은 주말 어떻게 보내셨나요? Let us know how your weekend was spent and what you have planned for this coming week, and if it's a long weekend for you, then tell us what you're up to.
And if you took any pictures over the weekend, feel free to send those in. We'll have a look.
Absolutely, I would love that. 이동일님이요, 수진쌤 오늘 무슨 날인지 아세요? 어린이날 이브이면서 Star Wars Day입니다. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know about this?
I know, but
So today is May the 4th, and one of the famous lines from Star Wars is, "May the Force be with you."
Yeah.
May the Force. So we say, "May the 4th be with you."
아, 그렇군요. Well, may the 4th be with you, 이동일님. Thank you for that. I see. Very, very interesting. Well, we have lots of stories to go over today, so let's get right into those. Let's start with today's global headlines. 자, 세계 각국 언론사들의 어떤 헤드라인이 올라왔는지 살펴보는 시간입니다. Touch Global Headlines.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has allowed the emergency use of the experimental drug remdesivir.
미국 식품의약국이 코로나19 치료제로 렘데시비어에 대한 긴급 사용을 승인했습니다.
With the number of COVID-19 cases surpassing 1.4 million in Europe, France and Spain have extended their national states of emergency.
유럽 대륙의 코로나19 누적 확진자가 140만 명을 넘어선 가운데 프랑스, 스페인 등은 국가 비상사태를 연장했습니다.
U.S. undergraduates have sued more than 50 schools which were shut down over COVID-19 concerns, demanding tuition, room and board, and fee refunds.
코로나19 확산으로 등교하지 못한 미국 대학생들이 등록금과 기숙사비를 환불해달라는 소송을 제기했습니다.
11 European nations have warned Israel of severe consequences if it moves ahead with plans to annex parts of the West Bank.
영국, 독일 등 유럽 11개국이 이스라엘 정부의 요르단강 서안 합병 계획에 경고 메시지를 보냈습니다. And to listen to those headlines again, please visit our website. 모닝 스페셜 홈페이지에 들어오시면은요, 지금 읽어드린 헤드라인 다시 들으실 수 있습니다. 무료고요. 많은 이용 바랍니다. Let's go over the headlines.
Headline number one today. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has allowed the emergency use of the experimental drug remdesivir.
미국 식품의약국 FDA가 코로나19 치료제로 렘데시비르에 대한 긴급 사용을 승인했습니다.
It is the first drug shown to help fight COVID-19, which has killed more than 230,000 people around the world. Donald Trump announced the news on Friday at the White House alongside Stephen Hahn. Stephen Hahn is the Food and Drug Administration commissioner who said that the drug would be available for patients hospitalized with COVID-19. The president said that the approval represented a very promising situation in the country's fight against coronavirus. And also Dr. Deborah Birx said, I think this really illustrates what can happen in such a short time.
네, 그렇습니다. 긴급 사용을 승인했다는 것은 이제 보통 정식 사용을 승인하는 것과는 다르게 연구 중에도 병원에서 처방을 할 수 있게끔 하는 그런 방안인데요. 미국 대통령은 It's a very promising situation, 굉장히 희망적으로 그렇게 생각하고 있다, 이렇게 밝혔습니다.
The emergency approval comes just days after Dr. Anthony Fauci, that's the government's top infectious disease expert, he expressed cautious optimism about the results of a remdesivir drug trial. He said the data shows that remdesivir has a clear-cut, significant positive effect in diminishing the time to recovery. What it has proven is that a drug can block the virus. The FDA acted after preliminary results from a government-sponsored study showed that Gilead Sciences' remdesivir shortened the time to recovery by 31%. That's about 4 days on average for hospitalized patients. We talked about that a little bit last week. So what that means is that those given the drug were able to leave the hospital in 11 days on average versus 15 days for the comparison group.
Right. That's similar to what Tamiflu does for the flu. So this time around we're looking at remdesivir. Anthony Fauci 박사가요, clear cut, significant, positive effect 라는 표현을 쓰면서 렘데시비르를 설명했습니다. 아주 명백한, 유의미한 긍정적인 효과가 있더라라고 하면서 어떤 효과냐면은요. In diminishing the time to recovery, 회복하기까지 걸리는 시간을 아주 많이 단축하는 데 유의미한 그런 약이다라고 해서 연구 중이지만 그래도 긴급 사용이 이렇게 FDA에 의해서 승인이 내려졌습니다.
So the FDA sped up this process and they authorized this drug under its emergency powers to quickly speed experimental drugs and tests and other medical products to patients during a public health crisis. And of course, this is a public health crisis. In normal times, the FDA requires substantial evidence of a drug's safety and effectiveness, usually through one or more large, rigorously controlled patient studies. But during these times, during public health emergencies, the agency can waive those standards, simply requiring that an experimental drug's potential benefits outweigh its risks.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Perfect use of that expression, that's right.
네, 그렇습니다. 이로써 렘데시비르 레몬드비르는요, 코로나19 극복을 돕는 최초의 약이라는 평가를 받고 있습니다. Let's go on to headline number 2.
Headline number 2 this morning. With the number of COVID-19 cases surpassing 1.4 million in Europe, France and Spain have extended their national states of emergency.
유럽 대륙의 코로나19 누적 확진자가 140만 명을 넘어선 가운데 프랑스, 스페인 등은 국가 비상사태를 연장했습니다.
Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said on Saturday that he will ask the parliament next week to extend the state of alarm that was imposed since March 15th for a further 15 days when it expires on May 9th. If the request is granted by Congress, the lower chamber of the Spanish parliament, it would be the fourth extension for the country. The Prime Minister pointed to the falling number of new deaths and new cases in Spain to insist that we knew the confinement was the way to stop the propagation of the virus, and then he looked ahead to a 4-stage roadmap that he set out earlier in the week to bring a quote-unquote new normality to post-pandemic Spain.
네, 전반적으로는 이제 바이러스의 확산세가 좀 누그러들고 있지만 그래도 이제 긴장의 끈을 놓지는 못하는 상황인데요. 스페인 같은 경우에는 국가 비상사태가 원래는 5월 9일까지였지만 15일이나 연장을 해서 이번 달 24일까지로 연장을 했습니다.
So these stages, I mentioned a 4-stage process, right? So they're going to be numbered 0, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Those will be the 4 stages. And for each of the stages, they will last at least 2 weeks. And each of Spain's 50 provinces will only be able to move from one stage to another after meeting a series of requirements. So if you're at stage 0, you can't go to stage 1 until you meet some requirements.
Right.
Speaking of stage 0, it is due to begin in most of the country on May 4th. That would be today. And it will be a preparation phase, while stage 1 will allow small businesses and hotels to reopen, although they won't be having common areas in those hotels.
Right. Tell us about the other stages.
Stage 2 and stage 3 would see restaurants and cinemas and theaters reopen to 30% of their capacity, so not full capacity.
Right.
They would increase to 50% by the end of June, when people will be able to use public beaches. But still, even though they will be able to use the beaches, social distancing restrictions would still apply at that time. And also, Sanchez said that from May 4th, again, that's today, it would be obligatory to use face masks on public transportation.
네, obligatory 그러면은 반드시 뭐뭐를 해야 된다, 의무라는 뜻이 있는데요. 5월 4일, 그러니까 오늘부터 일부 영업이 재개됩니다. 대중교통을 탈 때는 반드시 스페인에서 마스크 착용을 해야 되는 것이 의무화됩니다. Let's talk about France.
Now, France is preparing to loosen its lockdown measures on the 11th of May, so a week from now. The nation's emergency status, though, has been extended until July 24th. So the state of emergency, declared initially on March 22nd, is going to contain new measures. That's according to France's health and interior ministers. What has been stipulated is that these are precautionary measures intended to avoid a rebound of the virus outbreak. But importantly as well, the date and the proposals for the easing of the confinement measures have not changed with this announcement at all. On May 11th, shops are still scheduled to reopen in France, and people will finally be allowed out of their homes without having to carry a self-certification.
네, 그렇습니다. 프랑스에서는요, 24일 만료 예정이었던 국가보건 비상사태가 2달 연장이 되면서 7월 24일까지 연장됐습니다.
They're talking about an app in France as well. This emergency extension bill, it envisages the creation of an information system centered on this what they're saying is very controversial tracing app, which is intended to identify infected people as well as those who are likely to be infected or got in close proximity to infected people. So what's going to happen with that app, I'm not entirely sure just yet.
I also understand that it's going to be obligatory in France as well to wear face masks from, I believe, the middle of this month.
From the 11th, yeah, that's right. So starting a week from today in
Yeah.
France, yes, you will be required to wear a face mask on public transportation.
네, 프랑스에서도 스페인과 마찬가지로 대중교통을 사용할 때는요, 마스크 착용이 다음 주 월요일 11일부터 의무화됩니다.
They're also going to be reopening primary schools in France as well, but there are going to be restrictions there. Maximum number of children per class will be 15, and they're going to have to follow very strict protocol as well. Repeated hand washing, prohibited games, equipment disinfection, things of that nature.
All right. Moving on, let's check our third headline.
U.S. undergraduates have sued more than 50 schools which were shut down over COVID-19 concerns, demanding tuition, room and board, and fee refunds.
네, 코로나19 확산으로 등교하지 못한 미국 대학생들이 등록금과 기숙사비를 환불해달라는 소송을 제기했습니다.
These lawsuits, and they're calling them breach of contract lawsuits, they target some of the biggest names in higher education. For example, University of California, Arizona State, Columbia, Cornell, New York University. The students' lawyers, this is what they are asking for. They are seeking class action status on behalf of hundreds of thousands of students, and legal experts are saying that the suits face high hurdles. There will be some difficulties, but they could also potentially involve billions of dollars in claims.
Right. To put this into perspective, can you tell us what the annual price of normal school tuition in the US looks like?
Sure. I mean, I remember when I went to university in Canada, mind you, that was many years ago. It cost about $10,000 a year, but that $10,000 for me at school would include room and board and books and food and everything. All in would be about $10,000. In America, it can be a lot more expensive. They can get up as high as $70,000 a year.
So in Korean, that's about 8천만 원, 1년에 8천만 원 정도의 학비, 그다음에 이제 기숙사비가 듭니다.
Seriously expensive,
Wow.
right?
That is so expensive.
And these colleges and these universities, they advertise their on-campus experience, including close contact with professors and peers who will become a lifelong network. So the students in the lawsuit, many of them, millions of them, are studying online, and now they want to be compensated because, you know, on-campus experience, close contact with professors, they're not getting it. So if they're not getting what was advertised, then they want to be compensated for the difference in the value between the in-person experience and the virtual experience, if you will.
네, 그렇습니다. Class action lawsuit 그러면은 집단 소송이라는 뜻인데요. 미국의 많은 대학생들이 이렇게 집단 소송을 하는 이유는 연간 뭐 한 8천만 원에 달하는 이 대학 등록금에는 뭐가 들어있다고 보통 대학에서 약속을 하느냐. 캠퍼스 경험. 그 다음에 교수님, 아주 저명한 교수님들과의 어떤 밀접한 그 접촉, 그러니까 뭐 여러 대화도 나누고, 그 다음에 좀 친해질 수 있는 이런 기회들을 다 포함해서 이렇게 학비가 책정된다고 하는데, 지금까지는 계속 몇 달 동안 온라인 수업만 하고 있기 때문에 캠퍼스 경험도 할 수 없고요. 교수님도 만날 수가 없습니다. 그래서 이거는 breach of contract다. 계약 위반이다라고 하면서 여러 lawsuit, 소송이 제기가 되고 있습니다.
Kind of makes sense to me. If you order a hamburger and french fries and they only bring out the hamburger, and why are you paying for the french fries if you're not getting them, right? Colleges, most of them have declined comment on the suits. Some have, though. The California state system said that it would defend itself against a complaint that understates the services that it is still providing. Arizona State, a little bit different. Arizona State said that it would give $1,500 credit to all students who moved out of university housing by April 15th. Other colleges, though, including Harvard and Columbia, they have agreed to refund unused room and board. Others are offering credits or simply haven't decided what to do just yet. So each school is kind of making its own decision.
Yeah, and some of the schools that are facing these lawsuits are, you know, very famous, big schools, financially well-off schools, but then others are not. Some of them actually may suffer from this and may have to even close down.
May have to close their doors. You're absolutely right. But if you think about it from a student's point of view, for example, if your room and board is $8,000 a year and, you know, you're not using it halfway through the semester, you get $4,000 back. $4,000 is a lot of money for anybody, but particularly when you're a student and particularly in times of economic difficulty.
네, 그렇습니다. 이렇게 한 50개 이상의 미국 대학이 피소되는 상황인데요. 이번 사태로 인해서 이제 재정 상황이 좋지 않은 일부 대학은 폐교의 그 위험에 놓일 수도 있다고 이제 현지 언론은 보도하고 있습니다. Okay, now let's check our final headline.
11 European nations have warned Israel of severe consequences if it moves ahead with plans to annex parts of the West Bank.
영국, 독일 등 유럽 11개국이 이스라엘 정부의 요르단강 서안 합병 계획에 경고 메시지를 보냈습니다.
The countries I'm talking about, the UK, Germany, France, Ireland, the Netherlands, Italy, Spain, Sweden, Belgium, Denmark, Finland, and the EU issued a formal obligation to the foreign ministry against the move. The ambassadors made the protest during a video conference with the foreign ministry's Europe deputy Anna Azari. The ambassadors said the annexation of any part of the West Bank constitutes a clear violation of international law. The envoy or the group of countries also demanded a freeze on government plans to allow construction in the Givat Hamatos neighborhood in East Jerusalem.
네, 그렇습니다. 주 이스라엘의 유럽 대사들이요, 이렇게 한 목소리를 내면서 공식 거부 입장을 표명한 내용은 어떤 내용이냐면은 이스라엘이 서안이라고 하는 웨스트뱅크를 이제 이스라엘의 땅으로 합병을 하려고 합니다. 이것에 대해서 이건 국제법 위반이다. 거기에는 굉장히 많은 팔레스타인인들이 살고 있는데 이들의 뭐 어떤 뭐 인권이라든지 경제권이라든지 전혀 보장하지 않고 이렇게 안엑스 하는 것은 불법이다. 국제법을 위반하는 것이다라는 입장을 표명했습니다.
Yeah, and the Arab League said that this was a new war crime against the Palestinians. They were on a virtual conference that was chaired out of Cairo. They also said, the Arab League, that they wanted the United States to withdraw its support in enabling the plans of the occupation by the Israeli government. The United States, though, said it was ready to recognize Israel's annexation of key parts of the West Bank, but they did say that the offer was contingent on an offer of statehood to the Palestinians.
Contingent on 뭐뭐뭐 그러면은 무엇에 달려 있다라는 뜻이 있습니다. 미국은 이제 이스라엘과 알라이이기 때문에 이스라엘의 이러한 입장에 대해서 이렇게 단서를 하나 붙이고요. 조건부로 동의를 한다라고 얘기를 하고 있는데요. 팔레스타인인들의 어떤 국가로서의 지위를 보장한다면은 이런 영토 합병은 괜찮다라는 입장입니다.
Of course, but annexation of the West Bank settlements, that would infuriate the Palestinians and also Israel's Arab neighbors.
Indeed. Well, those were our headlines for this morning. It's time to take a song break. 노래 듣고 와서요, 여러분의 사연과 뉴스 포커스 살펴보겠습니다. Here's David Bowie, Starman.
Didn't know what time it was, the lights were low. Oh, oh. I leaned back on my radio. Oh, oh. Some cat was laying down some rock and roll, that is all he said. Then the loud sound, it seemed to fade. Came back like a slow voice on a wave of bass. That wasn't no DJ, that was hazy cosmic jive. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children lose it, let the children use it, let all the children boogie.
Our listener Park Hae-young-nim says it's the first Monday indeed. Stunning. It's a new bright Monday in the month of May. We're so happy to be with you. 모스. Long holiday, normal traffic. Steve Sem's garden is so beautiful.
I'm working on it.
It's very nice.
I want to learn. I love plants, but I don't know about plants, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
but
you're like me.
Yeah. So having the little garden will help me to learn for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, maybe you can learn from this listener, 0474-0474님이요. 사진을 보내주셨습니다. Look at that. 저희의 작은 텃밭도 소개합니다.
Well, that's way better than mine.
There's so much going on here, and it's so lovely and organized.
You could
My
chart.
goodness.
You could sell tickets to that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
와, 이 개인 텃밭이라는 게 안 믿어지네요. 와, 정말 뭔가 프로페셔널한 느낌이 물씬 풍겨집니다.
Seriously,
Yeah,
I wonder
wow.
what's underneath the plastic there. Would those be
I'm
potatoes?
imagining that's like a makeshift greenhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
For cabbage, lettuce, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe potatoes, something like
Yeah,
that.
maybe.
That is really well done.
정말 그러네요. 정말 멋있는 사진 보내주셔서 감사합니다. 0474님. 그리고 청취자 조주희 님이요. 저는 주말에 엄마의 89번째 생신이라서 엄마의 정원에 텐트 치고 가족들과 즐거운 시간 보냈어요. 너무 잘 먹어서 포동포동 반짝반짝 하셨습니다. Over the weekend, I went and celebrated my mother's 89th birthday. We all tented out, we camped outside in our tent and had a great time.
Sounds
Wow.
like fun.
Yeah.
That's another thing I'm looking forward to doing this summer is getting into camping. I talked
Yeah.
about that, right? Speaking of celebrations, I want to say congratulations to my parents who celebrated their 55th wedding anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Mr. and Mrs. Hatherley.
Over the weekend. Yeah, 55 years. Isn't that something?
That is something, yeah.
And also, they're hanging out with my nephew today, Mason, who's visiting. Mason is going to university soon.
Oh, wow.
He's going to study criminology, so I don't know if that
Very
means he's going to be a lawyer or a police officer or a detective, something along those lines. But yeah,
Hello, Mason.
Yeah, congratulations to everybody on that.
Yes. 네. 아우, 좋은 일이 정말 많으시네요. 자, 또 사연 하나 더 보겠습니다. 6450님인데요. 오늘은 베를린에 있는 딸의 웨딩데이입니다. 시청이 예약했는데 미루면은 여러 가지로 복잡해서 저희는 못 가도 증인만 참석하고 결혼식을 하기로 했습니다. 축하해 주세요 하셨어요. My daughter will be getting married today. She's in Berlin.
Wow.
I'm not able to go, unfortunately, but I do want to say congratulations.
That's really unfortunate, right? That you can't get there for the daughter's wedding day.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that
You can have an after party months later.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. And I think it will still have that same feeling
Absolutely.
as if you were there today.
Yes. Well, congratulations to so many people today. 이렇게 결혼하시는 분, 또 생일이신 분, 결혼 기념일이신 분, 많은 분들 축하드립니다. Keep sending in your messages and questions, suggestions and greetings. 보내는 방법은요. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045 그리고 반디 게시판을 통해서 무료로 또 사연 보내주실 수 있습니다. Alright, let's check our news focus stories now. 자, 그러면 첫 번째 뉴스 포커스 살펴볼게요. 코로나19 팬데믹으로 세계 빈곤율이 22년 만에 다시 올라갈 전망입니다. 올해 말까지 전 세계 인구의 8%인 약 5억 명이 추가로 극빈 상태에 접어들게 될 것이라고 하는데요. Let's listen to the story.
In a matter of months, the coronavirus has wiped out global gains that took 2 decades to achieve, leaving an estimated 2 billion people at risk of poverty. For the first time since 1998, global poverty rates are forecast to rise. By the end of the year, 500 million people may be pushed into destitution, largely because of the pandemic. The World Bank estimates the sub-Saharan Africa will see its first recession in 25 years, with nearly half of all jobs lost across the continent. South Asia will most likely experience its worst economic performance in 40 years.
네, 20년 넘게 이제 꾸준히 빈곤율이 낮아져 왔는데요. 이번에 코로나19 팬데믹에 의해서 몇 달 만에 그 수치가 다시 제자리로 올라갈 전망이라고 합니다.
Is that not shocking to hear that the World Bank estimates that sub-Saharan Africa will see its worst recession in 25 years, but half of all jobs on the continent, 50% of all jobs in Africa are going to be gone.
그러네요. Sub-Saharan Africa는 이제 사하라 사막 이남에 있는 아프리카 대륙의 국가들을 말하고요. 거기에선 25년 만에 처음으로 경기 침체를 겪게 될 것이다. 그런데 이제 아프리카 대륙 전체로 봤을 때는 50%의 사람들이 직장을 잃게 될 것이다.
Absolutely shocking, isn't it? Yeah, well, that's why it says in a matter of months, the coronavirus has wiped out global gains that took 2 decades to achieve.
Right.
So, to wipe out something or to wipe something out means to completely erase it. I'll give you an easy example. If you come home from a long day's work, you take your shoes off, you sit down on the sofa, and you say, whew, I am wiped out. And that means all your energy is gone. So all your energy has been completely erased. When we talk about this in the context of the article, we're talking about economic gains, right? Economic gains in terms of economies doing better. But the coronavirus has now completely erased everything.
Yeah.
It has wiped out global gains.
The poverty rate was getting lower and lower, and now it's just gone back up to what it was more than 2 decades ago.
Exactly.
Wipe out 그러면은 완전히 없애다, 파괴하다, 뭐 싹쓸이하다 이런 의미가 있습니다. 그래서 지난 한 20년 넘게 빈곤율을 이렇게 겨우겨우 낮췄는데 몇 달 만에 다시 완전히 이런 노력들이 사라지는 것처럼 빈곤율이 올라간다는 뜻이죠.
Yeah. Another example would be debt. If you
yeah.
if you had your debt paid for you by someone else,
Yeah.
then you have your debt wiped out.
That's good.
Oh, it's amazing. If that happens for you, it means that your debt was there, but then just imagine like an eraser on a board,
Yeah.
right? On a chalkboard. You erase everything, it's gone. So if you have your debt wiped out, it means your debt was there and now it's zero.
맞아요. 빚 아니면은 부채를 wipe out 한다 그러면은 탕감한다 아니면 전혀 이제 더 이상 빚이 없다라는 의미로 보시면 되겠습니다.
Now, this situation, like we said, it's the first time since 1998 that global poverty rates are forecast to rise.
Right.
And this could put 500 million people into destitution, may push these people into destitution. Now, destitution means that you are without the basic necessities of life, which would be food and shelter and water, things that you need to survive. If you're pushed into destitution, if you're pushed into anything, it means it's not your choice. So if you're pushed into destitution, it means that because of the economic situation, you will be forced into poverty.
네, 극빈 상황에 몰리다 아니면 치닫다라는 뜻의 be pushed into destitution이 쓰였습니다. Let's listen to the story one more time.
In a matter of months, the coronavirus has wiped out global gains that took 2 decades to achieve, leaving an estimated 2 billion people at risk of poverty. For the first time since 1998, global poverty rates are forecast to rise. By the end of the year, 500 million people may be pushed into destitution, largely because of the pandemic. The World Bank estimates that sub-Saharan Africa will see its first recession in 25 years, with nearly half of all jobs lost across the continent. South Asia will most likely experience its worst economic performance in 40 years.
다음 뉴스 포커스로 미국 가보겠습니다. 헐리우드 배우 해리슨 포드가 비행기 운전 실수로 FAA 연방 항공청의 조사를 받고 있다고 하는데요. 어떻게 된 일일까요? Let's listen to the story.
U.S. actor Harrison Ford is being investigated over an incident last week at an airport in Southern California. The Federal Aviation Administration said he was piloting a small plane that wrongly crossed a runway where another aircraft was landing after Ford misheard an instruction from an air traffic controller. The planes were within about 1,100 meters of each other, but there was no danger of a crash. No harm, no foul for Ford, 77, who acknowledged his mistake and apologized.
What happened here?
Yeah, so one plane was landing, and I guess they didn't really come that close to each other. But as the plane was coming down, I guess Harrison Ford, he crossed the runway. So perpendicular to where that plane was coming down. And that's a huge no-no. He was supposed to sit there and wait for the plane to land, but he crossed the runway. He said he misheard the air traffic controller. But this is not the first time that Harrison Ford was in an incident of this type. This is at least the second time.
Yeah.
And maybe there was even a third time as well.
In 2017, he almost crashed into an airliner with 116 passengers and crew. He didn't, luckily. And in 2015, his plane crashed because of a faulty engine, but luckily he wasn't hurt. So he was very lucky on both of those occasions. But he doesn't have a very good track record when it comes to flying.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Because this isn't the first case. Precedent has been set. Correct.
네, 그렇습니다. 비행기 사고의 그 단골 배우라는 오명을 가지고 있는 해리슨 포드입니다.
Well, he claims that he misheard an instruction from an air traffic controller. So when you mishear someone, it means that you did not hear that person correctly.
Did you just say you're going to buy me coffee?
You misheard. You misheard. So someone said something. You think you know what they said, but they said something different. 사오정? Is that the...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so can you explain that to me?
오랜만에 듣네요. 사오정 is a character in a very old story, and he couldn't understand things properly.
He always misheard
He's always
people?
misheard, yeah. And so people say if you're a 사오정, you misinterpret or mishear things.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what it means to mishear.
스티브 선생님한테 사오정 얘기를 듣게 될 줄은 몰랐네요. 그렇습니다. 뭘 잘못 듣다, mishear입니다.
Yeah. It says no harm, no foul for Ford, who is 77 years old. Harrison Ford is 77 years old now. He did acknowledge his mistake, so he said, yes, this was my mistake, and he did apologize as well. But the expression no harm, no foul, this is quite a fun expression, quite a good one.
Yeah.
What it means is, because nothing bad happened, you didn't do anything wrong. So let me give you an example. If Sue almost knocks my coffee on the floor, right? But she doesn't, but she almost does. Then she says, oh, sorry. So when someone is apologizing, but actually nothing bad happened, then you can say, no harm. No harm means nothing bad was done.
Right.
No foul. Think about a foul in soccer or basketball. Because there was nothing bad that happened, there was no offense at all.
실제로 피해는 없었으니 괜찮다, 무사하다라는 어떤 속담인데요. No harm, no foul. 물론 이제 한국법상으로는 잘하진 않았습니다. 해리슨 포드가. 그렇지만 다친 사람은 없었으니 그나마 다행이다. 이렇게 보면 되겠네요.
So we use this expression when something bad almost happened.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. Let's listen to this story one more time.
U.S. actor Harrison Ford is being investigated over an incident last week at an airport in Southern California. The Federal Aviation Administration said he was piloting a small plane that wrongly crossed a runway where another aircraft was landing after Ford misheard an instruction from an air traffic controller. The planes were within about 1,100 meters of each other, but there was no danger of a crash. No harm, no foul for Ford, 77, who acknowledged his mistake and apologized.
We're going to take a song break, and when we come back, we'll talk about another news-focused story. 노래 듣고 오겠습니다. This is Charlene, I've Never Been, to Me.
the things you'll never do. But I wish someone had to talk to me like I wanna talk to you. Ooh, I've been to Georgia and California and anywhere I could run. Took the hand of a preacher man and we made love in the sun. But I ran out of places and friendly faces because I had to be free. I've been to paradise, but I've never been to me. Please, lady, don't just walk away. 'Cause I have this need to tell you why I'm all alone today. I can see so much of me still living in your eyes. Won't you share a part of a weary heart that has lived a million lies? Oh, I've been to Nice and the Isle of Greece while I sipped champagne on a yacht. I moved like Harlow in Monte Carlo and showed them what I've got. I've been undressed by kings and I've seen some things that a woman ain't supposed to see. I've been to paradise, but I've never been to me. Hey, you know what paradise is? It's a lie. A fantasy we create about people and places as we'd like them to be. But you know what truth is? It's that little baby you're holding, and it's that man you fought with this morning, the same one you're going to make love with tonight. That's truth, that's love. Sometimes I've been to crying for unborn children that might have made me complete. But I took the sweet life and never knew I'd be bitter from the sweet. I spent my life exploring the subtle whoring that costs too much to be free. Hey lady, I've been to paradise, but I've never been to I've been to
You know, I was told that there's no word for paradise in the Indonesian language. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. Just someone told me that while I was on vacation in Indonesia.
How interesting.
It is, because Indonesia, beautiful weather, beautiful beaches,
Yeah?
it's kind of like paradise. So it would make sense if they didn't have a word for paradise.
Because everything is paradise
they're,
for them.
they're living in it.
Yeah. How interesting.
I don't know if that's true or not, though. Someone told me that.
그래요. 방금 전에 I've never been to me 샬린의 노래 듣고 왔는데요. 거기 나오는 Paradise라는 가사까지 부연 설명을 드렸습니다. Okay, let's get to our next news focus story now. It's all about musicals. 마지막 뉴스 포커스입니다. 전설적인 뮤지컬 작곡가이자 제작자인 앤드루 로이드 웨버가 자신의 대표작인 오페라의 유령 월드 투어 공연이 한국에서 재개된 것에 대해 너무나 자랑스럽다고 밝혔는데요. 그러면서 한국과 같은 모바일 방역 방식을 영국 공연계에도 도입하겠다고 말했습니다. Let's listen to the story.
Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera is now thought to be the only major show currently on stage anywhere on the planet. A touring production of the show has reopened in Seoul, Korea after being forced to close for 4 weeks when a member of the cast was struck down with the virus. "I'm so proud," the creator said. "This is a British show still going in these times. It's the only show in town. Any town."
I have a song to sing.
Okay. I'm sorry. I should have sounded more excited.
I love your enthusiasm, Steve. Think of me fondly when we've said goodbye.
You can sing.
That is from this musical, Phantom of the Opera.
You can sing. You can belt it out.
Well, thank you very much. I don't know if the cast members will agree, but as you just said, it is now open in Korea, the only place right now in the world where they
Yeah.
have a major musical production on stage.
Anywhere on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I had tickets for this.
Did you?
Yeah, and then they were refunded because of what was going on. But I don't know. I mean, it is open, and people will be able to go and see the production again. Maybe some people would feel comfortable doing that. Maybe other people, maybe not so much. Maybe want to continue on with the social distancing for some time more. But the very fact that it has reopened is good news for the production. 4 weeks it was closed down after one of the cast members was struck down with the coronavirus. So struck down. This is a rather, I guess, dramatic way of saying to get sick.
Yeah.
To strike means to hit, but in this case, it's figurative. And then down, imagine when someone is sick, they're laying in bed, right? So
Yeah.
you can imagine that image. So if a virus strikes you down, it means that a virus causes you to become ill.
네. be struck down이라고 하면은 무언가에 의해서 맞아서 쓰러지다라는 뜻이 원래는 있습니다. 근데 뒤에 나온 바이러스가 붙었기 때문에 그 바이러스에 걸려서 아프게 됐다라는 것을 이렇게 비유적으로 표현한 거예요.
Yes, exactly. That expression is okay, but our next expression, I love this one. This
Yeah.
is a 5-star expression.
Okay.
So Andrew Lloyd Webber said, "I'm so proud. This is a British show still going in these times. It's the only show in town." Okay. Now, the only show in town, he's talking about Phantom of the Opera. It's a show, and in this context, the town is Seoul, even though we know that Seoul is a city.
Yeah.
It's an expression. So in the context of the article, this is a literal meaning. But usually when we say the only show in town, it means the only option that you have. So if I go to a coffee shop in my neighborhood and it's the only coffee shop in my neighborhood, right? And I go there and I drink the coffee and I say, oh, the coffee is not very good, but it's the only show in town. And that means it's the only coffee shop in this area. So it's the only option that I have.
유일한 것이다라는 좀 재미난 표현입니다. 여기서 타운이 도시를 뜻하지만 아니면 뭐 때에 따라서는 어떻게 다르게 해석을 할 수 있겠지만 여기서는 그 사전적인 의미가 중요하진 않아요. 이 지역 아니면은 이 기사상에서 봤을 때는 전 세계에서 유일하게 지금 무대에 올린 대형 뮤지컬이다라는 뜻으로 the only show in town, 유일하게 무대에 올려진 그런 뮤지컬이다 이런 뜻이죠.
Anytime you only have one option, then that's it. Let's say that you need some help with your computer at work.
Yeah.
And you're asking around, can someone help me with my computer? And you have a coworker, you don't like them, your relationship, you don't get along that well. And the coworker says, I'll help you. And you say, oh, I don't, it's okay. Your coworker can say, hey, I'm the only show in town. I'm the only show in town. I'm the only
you could
option.
say that.
I'm the only option you have. No one else can help you here.
아, 그렇군요. 유일한 그 옵션이 저밖에 없잖아요. 라고 할 때도 I'm the only show in town이라고 할 수 있다네요.
Fun expression, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right, let's listen to the story one more time.
Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera is now thought to be the only major show currently on stage anywhere on the planet. A touring production of the show has reopened in Seoul, Korea after being forced to close for 4 weeks when a member of the cast was struck down with the virus. I'm so proud, the creator said. This is a British show still going in these times. It's the only show in town, any town.
Okay, Steve, what's the expression you've picked for the day?
Let's go back to the very beginning of the show where I showed the picture of my garden and then I showed the picture of the steak that I barbecued over the weekend.
Yep.
And I said, that's my weekend in a nutshell. Now, in a nutshell means in summary or in short. So I'm giving you it's almost like the highlights.
Yeah.
Right? So is that everything I did over the weekend? No, I went to the park with my dog. I went out to buy those plants from a lovely couple who were selling trees and plants on the street from their truck. I love that, by the way. I
Yeah,
love
me
supporting
too.
those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did many other things over the weekend. I watched a movie. I watched Jojo Rabbit,
Oh.
which is wonderful. But I didn't say all of those things. I just gave you my highlights, and that's why I said the garden and the steak, that's kind of my weekend in a nutshell.
네, 한마디로 라는 뜻입니다. In a nutshell. 스티브 선생님이 주말에 굉장히 많은 일을 했지만 장황하게 설명하지 않고요. 주말에 맛있는 스테이크를 직접 바베큐에서 구워 먹고 그다음에 가든에다가 꽃을 심었습니다. That's my weekend in a nutshell. 주말을 한마디로 요약하자면 그거예요. 이렇게 표현을 하신 거죠.
Yes, exactly. Have you seen Jojo Rabbit, by the way?
No.
Absolutely wonderful.
Is it an animated movie?
It is not an animated
Okay.
movie. It is very, very unique. I don't know if you would say it's a family film or not, but I would recommend that you watch it. It's one of the better movies that I've seen in a long time.
Really? Jojo Rabbit.
It was nominated for Best Picture along with Parasite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was nominated for the Best Picture
I'll have
award.
to go watch it.
It's really, 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 really good.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, our writer, says Hitler appears in it, the imaginary friend. Is that right?
He plays. So the story focuses on a young boy. I think he's 10 or 11 years old, and his best friend is Adolf Hitler. But he's an imaginary friend.
Oh, okay.
It's a young German. The movie is very tongue in cheek. It's a dark comedy. So you have to remember that
Yeah.
when you're watching the film.
Maybe we could explain tongue in cheek another day.
Maybe we could, because we're out of time for today.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, as always, for having me. Enjoy your Monday, and I'll be back tomorrow.
All right. Well, coming up in the second hour of Morning Special, we have Say What and Books with Paul Matthews. 기대가 많이 되는 2부. Phantom of the Opera의 Think of Me 듣고 저는 2부에 돌아오겠습니다.
Think of me fondly when we've said goodbye. Remember me once in a while, please promise me you'll try. When you find that once again you long to take your heart back and be free, if you ever find a moment, spare a thought for me. We never
coquettish girl that once you were. She may not remember me, but I remember